We're in this mess because society has lost sight of what's most important. What matters most to me is my faith and my family. And I know I'm not the only one who believes that way. So we're joining together as God-fearing men and women to take the light into the darkness.
You know, each one of us here at Final Descent Outdoors fell in love with hunting when we were kids, and for that to happen, we had to have a dad or a grandpa, an uncle, or a friend who would take us into the woods and teach us about hunting. So this episode is all about the next generation. One of the things we do here at Final Descent Outdoors is every year we host an annual outdoor kids camp where we take kids in and we go and we learn about archery and we shoot rifles and shotguns and calling tips and shot placement, tree stand safety. It is an awesome day of learning about the outdoors, and through that we also draw a name for a kid to go hunting with us on a doe hunt. So our winner this year was Corbin Vinson, and pro staffer Mark Hudson's gonna load him up and take him to our doe hunting hole.
My name's Corbin Vinson, and I'm from Sulphur, and I'm hunting with Final Descent Outdoors today.
Got him, didn't you?
Yeah.
Pretty good deer?
Yeah.
Good job.
You know, I'd be a real kicker to the show. Then they just grab it and wrestle it.
There.
I'm really excited. I'm 2 ahead of my dad. That's good. That's pretty much all I have to say. My name's Corbin Vinson, and I had a great day.
Field staffer Daniel Arms, through his local church, organized a Take Kids Hunting Day, and what the result of that was lots of kids in the woods, lots of deer on the ground, but more importantly, some unbelievable memories in God's great outdoors.
Sir, dropped it straight down. Can't wipe the smile off his face. Good shot. You dropped her. Yeah.
Here, this is TJ. He has had 5 bucks come in, and finally, right before dark, we had a little doe come in, and he finally got his shot. So
We'll just turn around.
No. Where'd he go?
We really appreciate Wes letting us come out and shoot a couple does with these kids today.
That's all she wants. She wants a feeder over there.
Now Daniel's got kids of his own, and more often than not, he's behind the camera filming them, and that was definitely the case this fall when he was out filming his son Weston.
Playing Xbox all day, and he asked me if I would go hunting, and I said sure. So now we're by a barn on our neighbors hunting, and hopefully we can get a good pig to show up. That's the end of my story. Hoping to look for some nice bucks we've seen on camera, and we decided to come over here on the neighbors, sat by the barn, waited for about 2 hours, and then we saw this thing, 2 mamas, some pigs come out. It took me a little while to get on her, but I finally got on her, found some good blood trails, and then Spurly Girly over here spotted her in some sticks. I don't know what else.
You know, field staffer Brad Russell, he spends a lot of his time hunting with his daughter Taylor, trying to get her on camera shooting a deer as well.
Big doe. Sweet. Looky there.
Now, pro staffer Michael Harrell had an unbelievable year. I mean, he laid down 2 great bucks, and one of them was the biggest buck ever killed on finals and outdoors. Now, Mike loves to shoot big deer, but Mike would tell you that he loves to go and hunt with his kids, probably even more than shooting a giant whitetail. So Mike's grabbed up his daughter Maddie. She's got her Barnett crossbow, and they're heading to the woods hoping to lay down a doe.
Well, it's December 31st. I'm here with my daughter Maddie. We are at it again. We saw some deer yesterday evening, but we're trying to hold out for a buck. But if a doe comes in this evening, we're gonna take it. Shot. Maddie just got her a doe. We're gonna get ready. reload her crossbow. She might get a buck.
Now you talk about discipline. Mike and Maddie have a great buck come in, but this property's under strict management, so Maddie lets this great buck walk.
That's a good sign right there. Yeah, good sign. Now let's go find her.
There, and then I was like, wait a minute, that's it. Stop there. What?
You nearly stepped on her and you didn't see her?
No, because she looked flat, like a pancake, and then I had to get on my tippy toes, and then that's when I realized that was her.
It is December 31st, and Maddie has hunted hard. She has passed some big deer. She can only kill doe or cull buck on this property. I'm really proud of her for passing those big bucks. She had a 140-inch deer at 10 yards and had to let it walk. This big old doe come out with two other ones earlier, and she's got a Barnett Jackal crossbow, and she put it on her. This doe went probably altogether 80, 90 yards. Anyways, you made a good shot. You glad to get your doe?
Yeah.
So Mike's son Mason, now he's no stranger to the camera. He's laid down some good deer for us over the years, which has earned him a field staff position. So youth rifle season rolls around in Oklahoma, and Mike and Mason climb into the tree, hoping to get down a good buck. Now pro staffer Adam Nicholas is just on the other side of the field filming out of another tree, and they're hoping to get a cool second angle if that big buck comes in.
It's opening evening of youth season here in Oklahoma. We're hunting on J.W. Hart, the world famous bull riders ranch out here. I haven't got to go hunting at all this year. I've been looking forward to, and hopefully I can just get a nice buck to come out tonight. youth season here in Oklahoma. I just shot an 8-point with a rifle. Adam was in another stand on the other side of where the feeder was. He'd seen this deer for about 10 minutes, but we didn't see him until about a minute before we shot him. But we didn't have very good camera light, so we waited as long as we could. But my dad can't hold me off of a deer for very long.
You know, I have such a better understanding of God's love for us after I became a father, and not just His love, but also His patience. And 3 John 1:4 tells us that God's greatest joy is knowing that His children are walking in His truth. So God finds joy in knowing that His children are obeying His commands. Well, how does that happen? Well, that happens through spending time in God's Word, meditating on it, understanding it, knowing exactly what it says for us to do and what not to do, but also through spending time with God through prayer. And, you know, that's really important for us as we walk in God's truth, but we have to ask our questions for us that are parents or grandparents. Are we showing our children God's truth through the way that we live as well? You see, for us that love the outdoors, we have an obligation to pass along that love we have for hunting and the outdoors to the next generation. Well, for us who call ourselves Christians, I believe we have the same calling, the same responsibility to pass along our love for God to the next generation, to show them how it's done, to be an example to them. And for that to happen, for my kids to love God, they have to see their daddy loving God every day. So today, the question is, are you walking in truth? Are you being the example to the next generation? Daddy, are you being the example to your kids? Grandpa, are you being the example to your grandkids? We have an obligation to pass along our Christian heritage to the next generation. And for that to happen, they need to see us living out God's truth every day. So if you're not doing it, I want to challenge you to make the changes. Do what you have to do to be living daily in God's truth. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. We'll see you next week.